about you, but I'm in my homestead era. So today, we're making sourdough. So here's the freaking deal, people. Hi, I'm Kennedy. I am 24, and I have never in my life learned how to cook or do like basic homemaker things. Tonight we're gonna walk through it together because I know I'm not the only one that was never taught how to do these things. You need a bowl. Sourdough starter that you fed 12 hours ago. Look at the bubbles, y'all. That is part of how you know it's active. Also, she did double in size. She's rested a little bit, but she did double in size, and so I know she's active. She kind of smells funny. She's got some nice bubbles. We're gonna use her. This is the only scale I have in my house. And then obviously flour. I use King Arthur flour. I just prefer it. And then some water, room temperature filtered water, which I'm gonna go get right now. Look at me already forgetting things. You also need salt. On here. Then you're gonna add 60 grams of your sourdough starter and 1 2/3 cups of water. Here's the deal. I am in fact somebody that hates instructions. However, with sourdough, you do kind of have to follow them. You kind of want it to look like this, like milky. So once the water and sourdough starter is giving milk, then you're gonna add your flour, 4.5 cups / 500 grams. Okay, so 4 cups of flour is what gave us 500 grams. We are gonna mix it and kind of see if that gives us the texture we're wanting. You do kind of want the dough to be on the more dry side than the wet side because you do have to pull it and stretch it and roll it and all the fun things. You do want to make sure everything is nice and mixed in there, and here is where we're going to add our salts. You don't need a lot of salt and it's not going to taste salty, but you do want to do 2 teaspoons. Here's the deal. If you're somebody that likes to be messy, at this point, let me show you. It looks like this. You could take it out and mix it with your hands. I don't know if you can see these bad boys. I hate getting dirty. I hate it, and I feel like sourdough dough on your hands is like one of the feelings ever. So I just will not be doing that today. I will be skipping that. I will continue to mix forever with the wooden spoon. Something to note as well, sourdough, it's interesting. It's a learning curve. And on the online like recipes and stuff, trying to read it, everybody talks like you already know what you're doing. I have no idea what I'm doing, okay? She's a little wet, so I'm gonna add a little flour, and we're probably gonna get into the water flour cycle. There's like definitely a pipeline between like corporate girly that boss babed and was like, I'm going to college and I'm doing life all on my own and I'm a business girly. And then we all kind of got burnt out at like 23 years old. And we're like, wait a minute. Can I just stay home and make sourdough? Because that sounds like a plan. So that's what we're doing. We're learning how to make sourdough together. Okay, here's what we're looking like. Look at her, she's so beautiful. Kind of wet, kind of shaggy, just, she's perfection. We're gonna cover her with a damn towel for 30 to 45. I'm a 45-minuter if my bedtime is not nearly approaching, and then we have one more step before me, you, and the sourdough all go to bed for the evening. Okay, we're back. It's been 45 minutes, and now is for the fun, kind of messy part. Dough looks like this. We're gonna pull it out of the bowl, onto the counter, and do some stretching. Quote unquote, lightly flour. So here is where it starts to get important that the dough isn't super wet. Pull, stretch, and then turn it until you get a little bit. She looks like this. Ta-da! So after you pull and stretch, it goes right back in the bowl. We're gonna cover it with cling wrap and then put it in a 75 to 80. Look at this. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I hate this part. But we're just gonna cover this bowl with cling wrap, and then I like to put it in my oven overnight because that area is warm and nobody turns it on but me. So we're gonna do that. It's gonna exist there overnight, 8 to 10 to 12 hours. And it's gonna double in size. So we're really excited for that, and I'll be back with you guys in the morning. Good morning, everybody. I hope you had the best sleep. Let's finish off this sourdough. Look at how beautiful. So now we're gonna put some flour on the countertop. We're gonna do another round of stretching and folding, but really gently because we wanna preserve all the little bubbles that you just saw. And we're gonna shape her into a nice little dough ball and let her rest on the counter for 10 minutes. So like you just saw, we did some stretching, we did some folding, we molded her into a little ball. She's gonna sit for 10 to 15 minutes just covered in a little towel on the countertop, and then we're gonna put her for 45 minutes into a bowl of some kind, covered in that same towel, dry little linen towel. Okay, you guys, our sourdough has been hidden in this bowl for 45 minutes. We are going to flip her over and do a little art project together. This is what she should be looking like, okay? Kind of eggy. Now, as if you hadn't used enough flour already, we're gonna lightly flour the counter one more time. This time when I say lightly, I really do mean just lightly. And then you're gonna put a light dusting of flour on the bread itself. Now for this part, you can get like a really fancy scorer if you want, or you can just use a little X-Acto knife. Do one deep cut. Now we're gonna prep our Dutch oven. Now that our dough is done and ready to go in the oven, we are going to prep our Dutch oven. This thing's heavy. I'm a firm believer in putting cornmeal underneath your parchment paper so that the bottom doesn't burn. And then you know, this much parchment paper, really just enough to make sure the entire Dutch oven is lined. And then you're gonna drop your dough right in there. Score facing up. Cover your Dutch oven, and then she goes in the oven for 30 minutes with the lid on at 450, and then at 30 minutes we're gonna take the lid off for another 20 minutes. You guys, let's see how she's looking. It's been half an hour. Let's peek. We have to take the lid off the Dutch oven now. Look! So this right here was the big score. Obviously, she's like halfway there, okay, a little over halfway. The inside is pretty much done at this point, but we're getting all the nice little crust on the outside. As you can see, she's pretty blonde right now, and we need her to be a brunette. I'm sorry, that's a beautiful loaf of bread. That's a loaf of bread that I can be friggin' proud of. Here's the deal, you guys. One thing with your beautiful sourdough loaf is, yes, it's instant gratification that we did it overnight and she's already done. However, you don't want to cut into it right away because she will deflate. All the beautiful little bubbles that we love about sourdough will deflate as soon as you cut that if you cut it before an hour. So we do have to wait an hour. I hope you enjoyed this first little video. I'm gonna make a video soon kind of explaining to you guys what the heck I'm doing and who the heck I am. But if you're also in your mid-20s and never learned how to be a homemaker but really want to, subscribe, like, and I'll see you next time. Bye.